Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Ivan Rodrigues, and I'm delighted to welcome all of you to the inaugural edition of the IBM Consulting Forum, Aspire 2023, in association with ETH. The theme for the forum is, It's Time to Bet on the Future. I would like to call on stage Kamal Singhani, Country Managing Partner at IBM Consulting, for the opening address titled 7 Bets, It's Time to Bet on the Future.
We as IBM Consulting have 4 basic areas where we go to market on. There's a lot of industry expertise you have here in this room, as well as outside of this room. So our focus is primarily industries, the values that industries need, the business values that we as IBM Consulting can drive. IBM Experience, the experience vertical of IBM Consulting, takes care of all your digital needs in terms of how do you and your customers experience the business, and what technologies, what solutions, what strategies are needed to take your consumer or your customer experience forward. Then is IBM Consulting's 4th vertical, which is technology, IBM Technology Consulting, where we take care of all technology solutions, all applications that you and many of your organizations have been using in the past and will continue to use in the future. Be it ERPs, be it custom application, be it hybrid cloud solutions, be it any of the new age solution and the partners which we have in the room and the booths that you see outside. That's all IBM Technology Consulting takes care of. And the last but not the least, business process operations and business process management, which is the 4th business vertical which we have in IBM Consulting, that takes care of the entire outsourcing business strategies of your needs.
I now request a very seasoned professional and a veteran IBM, Santosh Rao, to please come on stage.
Being a 27-year-old IBMer in a 112-year company, I really want to bring about something which is very close to me, right? One of our founders, Thomas J. Watson, way back in the 1966, to be precise, 1960s, brought about this whole concept of good design is good business. And if there is one statement which stood the time all through the years, is this particular statement from our founder. And if we really look at it, that's part of our DNA on the very way we've gone about developing and enhancing customer experiences. How do we go about envisioning this for our clients is what I want to take you through. Vodafone is here with us. We've actually engaged with them to really go about transform the entire digital experience for Vodafone and continuously engaging on looking at new areas on how do we bring in the new areas of making Vodafone more nimble, more attractive to their clients. The next one, if I want to touch upon, I already talked about SBI Yono. We've actually reimagined their entire digital journey. We went in, did customer stakeholder interviews, looked at what they want, looked at the demographics, shopping between Bangalore versus shopping between Delhi. What are the choices, age group, and did the whole customer journey map for them, and actually are inserting and putting in digital interventions into the entire bestseller multi-brands which they have today.
Okay, with that, we move on to our first panel discussion titled Unlocking the Potential of Generative AI.
AI is playing a role in our daily lives, right? We have been using AI for long. But last few months, there is this buzz around AI. What is really, generative AI? We all understand the use cases. We all understand the applicability of AI. I want to start by, asking you, Sumit, first. There are, countless applications of AI, right? How do you really identify, what are the imperatives which you would want to follow? What are the projects which you want to take on, right?
So for us, I think it's never about use of the latest technology. It's always about relevance. And relevance could be different on whether you're talking about any back office activity, which is not visible to the customer, or there is technology and interface which is going to be connect and which is going to have some kind of linkages with the customer as well. So I'll give you a couple of examples. There is a lot of RPA works that we do behind the scenes on our email scrubs, the bots that run all the emails and stuff. And we were almost at 35% usage, and we felt that it's very good. And lo and behold, generative AI came across, And we actually layered it so that the ability to get the content and the intent from those emails was super fabulous, and we were able to increase the response rates to almost 90%, not only talking about multiple languages in which those emails will come through, but also Hindi written in English script.
I believe that the golden age of AI has actually just begun. We started from computer vision, we moved on to NLP, we moved on to AI, we went into advanced ML models. But now is the actually real thing is coming. The humans are actually meant for imagining things, not for doing things. And of course, if somebody can take over that doing things part of it, we all get free to imagine our future. And anything which has come, whether it's a computer vision or the latest chat gen, it has all come because somebody imagined something.
When you look at virtual try-on, I think you put Kamal talks about virtual try-on, right? Virtual try-on is not only the solution through generative AI. It can be worked on HPC. There are a lot of other solutions that is there. However, when you look at virtual try-on, it's a combination of computer vision along with generative AI. We have started this journey in Raymond a couple of months back. We have started getting a lot of computer vision data. We are now developing those virtual try-on. The objective is that if let's say some customer coming to my store, I will be able to understand, hey, what is that exactly that need the customer will have. So there are many other applications that we can think of in the retail space. But just to summarize, is this the right time to get into generative AI? Answer is yes, this is the right time. There are challenges, but yes, this is the right time.
That leads us into the next panel, which is the leaders panel titled Leveraging Innovation to Orchestrate Engaging Customer Experiences.
So, there are, in telecom, and especially the way the telecom has been shaping up in India of late, customer churn and customer acquisition has been a very, very integral part for any telco. After Jio came and the whole dynamics that changed, it became even more important. What part of those technologies and how you put to play and leverage a good customer experience to manage a good acquisition of customers?
We completely moved away from documentation, document related and everything. First we implemented DKYC, that's the digital KYC where customer has to just walk in. The way technology is moving, Aadhaar came up, biometric authentication started it. We moved from digital to electronic KYC, we call it as eKYC, where now customer don't have to bring anything. He just walks in there, put his Aadhaar number, put his biometric, and the system will, the application will automatically capture his live image. There's an AI engine working behind which will match the photo which the store person had taken it with the Aadhaar photo, because photo is a 10-year, 15-year-old and all that, but still the intelligence is built in the AI engine, it will match it and ensure on the spot. It is not like it's a back-end activity or anything. On the counter, across the counter, the validation happens and the journey starts.
Deepu, coming to you, on insurance as a sector, how, in this sector, one factor which plays a key role is the whole trust and transparency. How do you really handle, with what kind of digital technologies, processes, adoption, and deliver a customer experience which addresses this concern?
If you look at the overall general insurance industry, we have a metric called combined ratio. Combined ratio is the total expense divided by the premium we collect. It's 120, which means for every 100 rupees the industry collects, we actually spend 120 rupees, out of which the biggest expense is claims. Now what happens is, insurance companies also reject claims because there are fraudsters. And sometimes those cases become sensational. And then, the whole metric of 120 gets lost. So I think one is around creating communication around that aspect. The other is how can you also make the claims process simple? So I'll give you one example. If you take motor insurance, let's take, an earlier scenario. If you crashed your car, you would have to call a surveyor, rather call up the insurance company, they would appoint a surveyor who would come to the site of the crash, assess the extent of damage, he would file his report and the whole process could take days. Today you can do it in 2 clicks, for many companies. The customer is empowered, the point that we made on self-KYC. You can take photographs of the car and just upload them using the mobile app. And in as low a turnaround time as 20 minutes, up to certain amounts, the AI engine will assess the extent of damage using the images and convey the estimate back to you. You give your consent and the money is paid. So by simplifying the claims process and by ensuring the absolute transparency during the purchase process, we've been able to drive the trust up.
may I please request Atul Sood, partner Hybrid Cloud Transformation, to please come on stage.
Since 2004, IBM's Institute for Business Value has been publishing studies on the top priorities and challenges for the global chief executive officers. Now, the next study that we did, it showed that the CEOs today are relying increasingly on technology and data leaders. Now, you can see it on the chart that the CIOs, it's actually, more than double in terms of how much they are engaged at the board level. If you look at it from the CDO perspective, it's up 80%. So there is clearly a tectonic shift which has happened wherein these roles now have board-level agenda on the table. So if these roles have a board-level agenda on the table, what is it that this newfound proximity for these roles with the CEO is asking them to do? Our research tells us that they are being asked to balance two very opposing thoughts, being resilient and being agile at the very same time. The ability to hold two opposing thoughts at the same time and be able to function is a hallmark of a superior mind. So if those roles, the CIOs, the CDOs, the CISOs, are being asked to be resilient and to be agile, how are they going to go about doing it? We believe in IBM that there are three ways to do it. You have to rethink the value, you have to reimagine the talent, and finally, you have to reorient your ecosystems.
In today's world, technology is all over us. I think every organization needs to be a small tech company by itself. And I think that is going to be the one that is going to the future. The biggest challenge of technology is that people are not ready to adapt technology. And I think that is where CXOs need to step in, the CEOs and the CIOs need to step in. They need to come back with real solutions to business, show them the results, do the proof of the concept rather than just going for an implementation and then waiting for people to adapt to technology. I think the proof is in the pudding, and I think that is what it is required for people to adapt to technology. No technology is going to be successful if people are not going to be interested into it, they don't see value add to it, and they don't see how it makes their life easier.
So in the current world where we use technology for our business applications, the most critical thing it is how best it is an API-driven approach rather than a custom-built legacy type of an application where it is a purpose-specific one. So the technology, the guidelines, what we put in the ecosystem to get a new application for any business purpose, we ensure that it is an open source, is an open API, and more of that it is a cloud-ready and cloud-native application or a service which is available. Three big guidelines today when you select a technology: it has to be an API-driven, it has to be an open source, and it should be cloud-ready.
The next panel discussion is focused on the theme, "The Future is Open, Powered by Resilient Agility."
In your organization, given the fact that there's so many changes happening, right? And we just talked about, when we were outside, we were talking about quantum safe, right? We were talking about the challenges that today we know that there are criminals who are going to be collecting data and harvesting once we have the future computers come in. We have generative AI coming, et cetera, right? Which we have talked about since a long time. How, as an organization, are you coping with this?
There are many advanced threats which have come into the market, whether it is Log4j, whether it is different kind of ransomware attack which have been exploited. Moreover, there is another trend which has changed. They have now become extortionist. They are not only asking ransom for it, they are actually stealing your data as well. After 6 months, they will push it on the internet. So we have to get out of that place, the way I look at it, that this is going to be the future. This is going to be part of your life. Let's get out of it and let's stop getting scared out of it. As we move forward, there are new things which will come up. It has become COVID. You have to live with it. And you have to get over it, move forward, and at least start taking precautions, whatever you could, in whatever environment you are living in, and keep your environment safe.
Deepak, would like to understand from your perspective, right? When we talk of resilient agility, when we talk of the organization being able to manage and also manage the innovation element of it, how is your organization coping with it?
Asian Paints has, since the beginning, since our inception, we've been living to the principles of agility, of resilience, scalability, innovation. A lot of stuff actually has become sort of DNA within the organization, and it largely happens because everything which we do is rallies around the customer. And so if your ears and eyes are so close to the customer, and you're able to perceive things before the customer has even come to you, I think that agility in itself becomes part of the entire engagement you would have.
I'd like to hear from you, Venkat. How do you make sure that your clients remain resilient and they remain agile?
Our mainstream business is a service business. Now, if your mainstream business is a cloud business, then you don't have a choice of waiting for somebody to go and fix something and saying, listen, I'm all okay, somebody else needs to come and do it. Right? So we've just repivoted this entire thinking into saying that, can we move away from this bolt-on where we add something to say, hey, listen, I'm securing it, to building it at the design stage itself. To the point that you made, it's about everybody thinking of security first in any design that we are thinking in. Because you go with the assumption that there are bad actors out there who have the same access to technology, probably more than what us and our customers have. So we stay paranoid, and we make sure that we are constantly trying to get one step ahead, come closer, but be fully aware that a breach can happen. So you start with that basic assumption, and hence you start designing an architecture where security is built in.
Moving on, the next session, led by Ramit Gupta, Partner Finance and Supply Chain Transformation, focuses on operational resilience.
The 2G was launched in India in 1991, and we are, in a span of 30 years, already looking at scaling up 5G. Right? So while there's been so much of change in technology, what all of us as in our generation are also witnessing that India as a country is making irreversible, non-linear changes, and probably at a pace which is fastest in human history. From a period of balance of payment crisis in 1991 to now in a situation where we are surplus. From a situation in 2008 where a large population of the country was unbanked to 2019 where we have provided financial inclusion. A journey in a span of 11 years which would have taken 47 years in normal course. We are already the 5th largest economy and $3.5 trillion. So my God, what are we witnessing, right? And we're just getting started. With all this China +1 underway, the progress of India as a country is only increasing. And depending on whichever analyst you look at, I think it's fair to say that we're looking at adding at least $27 to $30 trillion worth of economy in the next 20-25 years. So in my lifetime, over the previous 25 years and going forward, we are looking at a huge change.
Coming up, a panel discussion on the theme, Leap into the Future by Staying Ahead of the Technology Curve.
Let me first go to you, Deepal, in terms of what you're doing at All Cargo, right? You call yourself a technophile, right? And you actually believed in digital transformation in a big way. You actually set up what you call as a permanent digital transformation office. How do you see the role of CFO in enabling tech transformation as an organization?
The technological evolution within the organization has to continue to keep pace. And exactly for that, I coined that idea that we should have a permanent transformation office. Ability to, to innovate, ability to, stay relevant, to adopt to new technology is what is very important, which will keep you going and which will keep you very relevant as an organization and deliver superior value as an organization to our customers. And typically, it's more customer-centric.
What are the key things that you have done from a technology perspective to help Parley grow as an organization?
Considering Parley, as you rightly said, last few years we have decided, and it was a deliberate attempt to transform from legacy and homegrown system to move to the ERP. And when we decided that in 2014 and eventually we implemented SAP in 2016, after that, frankly speaking, we changed the complete gear and started taking more and more innovative projects as well as new technology initiatives also, which could help the business.
Up next, a presentation by Amit Singhi, Director IBM Research on the topic AI for Business.
IBM, and I'm very excited about it because our teams have been involved in building it. We have built this capability called Watson X, which is an evolution of the AI platform for this disruption, right? And there are key parts to it. There's watsonx.ai, which is really the part of the platform that gives you the tooling to train and tune and use and deploy these models in-house. There's watsonx.data, because now you're talking about these large-scale data, and you really need to govern and manage this data and prepare it for training these models. And the third part is watsonx.governance. Many people talked about governance and knowing how to control these things so that it doesn't hallucinate and give random answers to your employees or customers. That's what this platform enables. Of course, it's built on Red Hat OpenShift, so it's completely portable, whether you put it on-prem, you put it on a public cloud, you put it across them, hybrid. The platform doesn't change because the deployment model is exactly the same.
That brings us to the last panel discussion themed in conversation with the corner office, why today's modern CEO is an innovator.
Software is eating the world, and then now AI is eating the software. And you're a man who's very dedicated, as you said, technology at heart, but also on the journey of unlocking the full potential of AI, getting the data right for that journey. What's your take on it?
If you look at the amount of data a retail company or a fashion company generates, it's millions of records, or I think billions. I think we've worked with Mr. Singhi a lot, and I think we know it is so much data that we are creating every day. How do we put the power of the data to get better decision making? And I think that's where we are using a lot of tech, AI, and I think we've partnered with IBM. We've done something before also, and I think we've again partnered with IBM to have this large transformation journey for our fashion business. And I think that's where we are using this power to enable and help our people take better decisions.
AI cannot take the job away. Of course, I have to coexist with that merchandiser, but at the same time, one has to understand the boundaries which would be drawn on such things. Of course, AI cannot be as creative as your merchandiser is. AI cannot be as spontaneous as your merchandiser is in choosing, as you said, guts. And AI cannot be as inspirational as your merchandiser would be. But AI has to coexist with those people who have these traits, to guide them and coach them, to take those decisions, the right decisions, which probably today they are unable to take because of either lack of information or lack of skills, which would be they've been able to predict better. So that's something which we probably like to work with them. Those who don't use AI, I'm not saying that AI will take the job away, but those who use AI probably would replace the people who are not using AI.
I think the leverage of any technology has to be an enabler to meet the business objectives. We keep our customers at the heart of it. We believe in having the precision of technology with the emotions and empathy of a human touch. From that perspective, all the technology that we leverage has to be relevant for the audience that we're serving. There is technology which is best fit to manage our back office processes, and there is technology which is super when it comes to meeting and delivering a stellar experience for our merchants.
Most important thing is the change of the mindset rather than a technology, because that is very much important. The organization need to open up to adopt the kind of world which is changing, the new technologies which are coming up, AI enabled, blockchain, and the other prospects which are coming. The way threats are changing, it is very, very important to have this kind of a change mindset to adopt what is coming across and move forward accordingly. The business are changing as well. The people, we have seen the revolution of mobile. It used to be a monographic headset, then it changed to color headsets, and now today what we have is a headset in hand, practically a supercomputer which is developing many transactions in a day. Last week, if you might have heard, our Prime Minister Mr. Modi talked about it, that the number of transactions which are happening across the globe, 43% are being generated from India. So that kind of a change which is happening, and with that, it is very important to adopt new technologies and move forward.